There was an earlier game, JV game on the girls' side, and unfortunately the Lloyd Memorial JV defeated our junior varsity 43-38 to set the table. Well, as far as Lloyd Memorial is concerned, they're 0-1 on the early season. Their only game was this past Tuesday when they crossed the river to Lawrenceburg, Lawrenceburg, Indiana, and dropped that ball game 39-32. Meanwhile, Harrison County 1-1 in the early season. They had an absolutely positively exciting game back on Thursday when they defeated Estill County in a wild affair, 65-61. A really important win. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but just a really big win for our Fillies basketball program and their development for what we hope will be a very successful season. Right now, both teams are out on the floor going through their pregame paces. We invite you to stay tuned as we'll come back and take a closer look at both Lloyd Memorial and Harrison County. You're listening to Philly basketball on the Cynthiana Hardy's pregame show on WCYN Sports.
You're invited to Hinton Mills' annual Old Time Christmas event this Saturday from 8 to noon at our Flemingsburg location. Santa and Mrs. Claus will be on site to visit with children. Kids can color Hinton Mills themed coloring sheets, enjoy milk and cookies, make their own ornaments, and get a free bag of Hinton Mills reindeer feed, all while supplies last. There'll be local crafts and limited edition Hinton Mills gift items available. That's this Saturday at our Flemingsburg location. Check Facebook for more details. Hinton Mills, serving farmers and their kids since 1918.
40 years in the medical equipment business. In 1984, John Sorrell started his medical equipment business. Since then, his son Josh has joined him. Together, they have improved many lives by helping folks breathe, walk, and sleep better. Sorrell's same-day service makes the difference. You don't stay in business 40 years if you're not doing it right. Sorrell Home Medical Equipment, West Pleasant in Cynthiana. Take care of yourselves and each other.
All right, back up here at the Hilltop. We're some 13 minutes or so away from the opening tip-off of today's first game between Harrison County and Lloyd Memorial. We'll talk about the Lady Juggernauts. As we said, 0-1 on the year. They're coached by Paul Sturgeon, who is now in his fifth year at the helm of the Lady Juggernaut program. They have played just one game, as we said, a losing effort to Lawrenceburg, Indiana, at Lawrenceburg, Indiana, earlier this week. They do return three of their top four scorers from last year. However, they will miss their leading scorer from last year, who averaged some 18 points a game and took about a third of their shots. But the second, third, and fourth leading scorers are back, and that includes the three best rebounders from last year's squad. So a tough and experienced Lloyd Memorial School. That's who Harrison County's Fillies will be playing today. We'll play just as well as we did for the most part against Estill County the other night in that 65-61 win. Meanwhile, Harrison County in that particular win had one of the more important wins in, I wouldn't say Harrison County history, but it was still pretty huge. The Fillies, as you may know, have struggled over the last couple of years and then did not play really well against Woodford County in that loss to the Yellow Jackets back on Tuesday. But 2 nights ago, here on the Hilltop, the Fillies fell down by as many as 11 points in the first half, and it looked like it was going to be just another routine loss for our girls. But they picked things up in the second half and just took it right at Estill County. The Lady Engineers faltered somewhat after going 4 for 10 from 3 range in the first half. Our defense forced them into some bad shots, and they made only 1 of 13 from beyond the arc in the second half. Meanwhile, the Fillies, using the energy provided by both Jersey Baker as well as Savannah Kennedy, kept chipping away at that deficit, eventually catching the Lady Engineers. And after about the 3-minute mark of the fourth quarter, it was back and forth. In fact, We had 7 ties and 5 lead changes in that ball game altogether. But eventually, what happened was basically Estill County ran out of people. Their point guard fouled out with 1.5 minutes left, with Harrison County leading by just 1 point. That was big because their quarterback pretty much handled the ball 95% of the time. And then, about a minute later, with Harrison County upping its lead to 2 points, their leading scorer fouled out for Estill County, and that really hurt them as they just didn't have anybody on the floor that could score. And eventually Harrison County came out on top 65-61. Just a very important win. Huge. Last year especially, the Fillies were in so many close games but just couldn't close it out. Now we know that we can close out games against good competition. I'd say rankings-wise, Estill County probably about midway in the rankings in the 10th region, if they were to still be in the 10th region. So not a great club by any means, but not a bad club either. They had some talent. Morris definitely had some talent. So to come out of that game with a win is just really going to pay dividends for the rest of the season, and with as young a team as we have in most spots for this program for the next several years. I may be overstating it because I have a tendency to do some things sometimes, but man, that was such a big win. All righty, back in the locker room, the Lady Juggernauts are getting some final words of wisdom from their coaching staff. Meanwhile, the Fillies still warming up on the floor in front of us. It's a cold day outside, but guess what? Inside it's nice and warm. Come on up and support your Fillies. Stay for the Breads game, and then go down the parade. Make it a full day of watching people do things or something like that. We'll take a break right now, come back and give you the starting lineups of tonight's game. Actually, today's game. Right after this timeout, you're listening to the Cynthiana Hardy's pregame show on WCYN Sports.
A cancer diagnosis is never a good thing, but knowing you can receive quality oncology care in your own community is. Harrison Memorial Hospital in Cynthiana, Kentucky is excited to offer hematologist-oncologist Dr. Michael Horn. Dr. Horn is board certified and has spent more than 20 years treating cancer patients. He's joined by oncology nurses specially trained in chemotherapy administration. They offer a chemotherapy and infusion therapy suite, making travel to treatment easier. A proud member of the UK Markey Cancer Center affiliate network, Harrison Memorial Hospital offers diagnosis, treatment, and research at the local level. Accredited by the Commission on Cancer, they've even earned a 5-star quality rating from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Treating cancer close to home can make all the difference.
Back here on Hilltop, let's take a look at the starters for today's game. First, for the Lloyd Memorial Lady Juggernauts, 0-1 on the season, coached by Paul Sturgeon. At a guard, a junior, number 15, Malia Ham. Another guard is a 5'1 senior, Mercedes Frazier. Frazier's a 5'1 senior. She had a couple of points in that loss to Lawrenceburg, Indiana. At the third guard is Aubrey Barger. Barger wears the number 10. She's a 5'4 junior. She played but failed to score against Lawrenceburg, Indiana. One of the forwards is Kenya Williams. Williams wears the number 14. She's a junior. She likewise did not score against Lawrenceburg, Indiana. And at the other forward, a 6-foot junior, number 32, Maya Holden. Holden is averaging, well, actually got 7 points against Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So once again, for the Lady Juggernauts, it'll be Ham, Frazier, Barger, Williams, and Holden. As we said, the score from that loss to Lawrenceburg, Indiana by Lloyd Memorial was 39-32. Now for the Harrison County Fillies, 1-1 on the season. At one of the guards is Jersey Baker. Baker wears the number 1. She's a 5'8", 8th grader, averaging 7 points a game in the early going. Another guard is Hayden Lunsford. Lunsford's a 5'6" senior who wears the number 12. She's averaging 13.5 points a contest. Another guard is number 21, Keely Custard. Custard, a 5'6" junior, averaging 8 points a game. The other guard is Harrison County's leading scorer on the year, Bailey Hudgens, Hudgens wears the number 23. She's a 5'6 senior and averaging 14.5 points a game. And at the forward, a 5'6 junior, number 30, Lauren Hicks. Hicks averaging a point a game. So once again, for the Fillies, it'll be Baker, Lunsford, Custard, Hudgens, and Hicks. On the year so far, the Fillies averaging 49.5 points per game, giving up 57 points per contest. So there are your starters for this afternoon's ball game. The first of a girl-boy doubleheader with the guys taking on Tate's Creek a little bit later on after this game is over. Well, while we have this opportunity, let's send it back to the station to Pastor Ted Beam of the First United Methodist Church with today's pregame prayer.
Let's pray. Our Father in heaven, we thank you for your incredible love and grace to us. Thank you for your faithfulness. Thank you for how you've revealed yourself to us. You sent Jesus to come, to walk among us, to die on our behalf, that we could have our sins forgiven, that we would know you and know you well. We are so grateful. We do lift up the teams to you tonight, that you will pour out your Spirit on them, that they will play well, that they will excel in their teamwork, in their understanding of competition, that they'll learn about sportsmanship tonight and about fair play. We ask you to pour out your Spirit on them, guide the athletes, guide the coaches, the officials, guide the entire event tonight. You protect them all from injuries, please, that it will be a wonderful time to play, to enjoy the evening. We do thank you for your faithfulness to them. You hold them, please, in the palm of your hand. In Jesus' name, amen. My name is Ted Beam. I'm the pastor at First Methodist Church in Cynthiana at the corner of Pike Street and Church Street. I hope you come worship with us this coming Sunday at 11 a.m.
All righty, back here at the Hilltop, this game today will be the 6th between Harrison County and Lloyd Memorial in girls basketball. Unfortunately, the Lady Juggernauts have won all 5 of the previous encounters, including the 2 that were played here on the Hilltop. It's a series that didn't begin, despite the fact that we're not all that far away from each other, till December of 2015 at Newport Public High School at the Donna Murphy Showcase. And just to show you how Lloyd has handled the Fillies, the final score 51-30. It's a 21-point margin. In the other games played between these two schools that Lloyd has won all of them, we had a margin of 26, 14, 25, and 15. So all 5 games have been decidedly in the favor of Lloyd Memorial. The first time the two teams met here on the Hilltop was back in December of 2019. That was the 59-33 win by Lloyd Memorial. We then played them in 2021 in November of that year up at their place. That game was won by Lloyd Memorial in Erlanger, 56-42. The last time the two teams played here on the Hilltop was just a couple of years ago, with the Lady Juggernauts winning 62-37. And the last time the two teams played each other at all was last year up in Erlanger, a game that was won by Lloyd Memorial 65-50. So there's your history between these two schools. Well, as far as the Fillies' upcoming schedule, it's already been pretty busy, and it's going to be busy next week as well. On Tuesday, the girls will travel up to Florence to take on the Lady Rebels of Boone County High School. They'll then return home to the Hilltop on Friday when they'll host Bluegrass United, and they'll be at home on Saturday as well, as they'll have another afternoon game as they'll take on the Lady Tigers of Beechwood, with the varsity game beginning at 2:30 for that particular ball game against the Lady Tigers. Meanwhile, the Thoroughbreds, as we said, will play later today here on the Hilltop against Tate's Creek. They've got a busy week next week as well. On Tuesday, they'll head to Lexington to take on the Bulldogs of Dunbar. Then on Friday, they'll return to Lexington to take on Lexington Christian Academy. And just to make it a full week of going to Lexington, for the third time in 5 days, they'll be heading over to Trinity Christian that's down by Brandon Crossing. That game will be played at 2:30 in the afternoon. So make plans now, hopefully, to come up to one, if not all 3 of those games in Lexington next week. Now, our wrestling teams are in action today as well. The boys are hosting the Harrison County Wrestling Invitational Tournament over at the middle school as we speak. Hopefully they're doing well over there. Also, the archery team is involved in their first competition this year, so best of luck to the archers as they try to get off on a good start. We have a very, very good team, archery team. Also, our girls wrestling team is down at John Hardin High School participating in the Lady Duels. Well, right now we're about to have the national anthem.
Feed your farm with Southern States Co-op in Cynthiana. Whether you need feed for dogs, chickens, pigs, rabbits, horses, or cattle, your local Southern States team can help you find the best nutrition program for all of the animals on the farm and around the house. Stop by Southern States on US 27 south of Cynthiana or call 234-2161. That's 234-2161. Curbside service is available.
Investments can behave differently over time, and as a result, your balances of stocks and bonds can shift. Hi, I'm Mark Troxel, your Cynthiana Edward Jones financial advisor. If your portfolio is out of balance, you may be taking more risk than you realize. Learn more by asking for our new report, Maintain Your Balance. Call 859-234-0368. That's 234-0368. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Alrighty, Harrison County starting quintet being introduced. We've already heard about Lloyd Memorial, and we're just about ready to get this game started. Cynthiana Hardee's wants you to visit them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner on US 27 South. They've got the best burgers in town. That's the Hardee's in Cynthiana. Quite a few people have come down from Erlanger to support their Lady Juggernauts here today. Good to see. Of course, Harrison County, not quite as many as we had last night in the boys' game, but still a representative crowd, and I'm sure they'll be loud and rowdy for this afternoon game. Jumping center for Lloyd Memorial will be Maya Holden. Across the midcourt stripe will be Jersey Baker. As we're about to get this game underway, the 1-1 Fillies against the 0-1 Lady Juggernauts. The ball is up, and the tap will be controlled by Lloyd Memorial. Ball is in the paint and dropped, and the loose ball picked up by Harrison County. Over on the far side, long range. Custard gets it, takes an extra step after catching the ball, so one turnover begets another. So give the ball back to Lloyd Memorial as both teams have gotten that out of their system now. Into the front court with the basketball up top, Williams hands the ball off to Ham. Ham over on the far side finds Barger. Barger throws the ball away. Another turnover for the Lady Juggernauts. In the front court, right side baseline, 12-footer by Baker off the flange, and it is going to sail out of bounds. Last touch they're going to say by Harrison County. So give the ball back to Lloyd Memorial. Inbounds pass will come to Frazier. Over in the far hash mark to Barger. Barger now tries a pass. It almost got away, but picking up loose ball, Frazier. Here's a pass down low, a little bit too tall for Williams. So give the ball back to the Fillies. Fillies 1-1 on the year. Nice comeback win, as we said before, the other night against Estill County. Custard across the timeline. Now looks to her left, where she'll hand the ball off up top to Baker. To Hicks at the top of the key. Now to Hudgens in the paint. Nearly traveled and now throws the ball away. Loose ball picked up by Lloyd Memorial in the front court. The ball's knocked away again, and this time Harrison County picks it up. Boy, it's a turnover fest so far. Now a pass over to the far side, knocked out of bounds by Lloyd Memorial. Harrison County will retain possession. Inbounding it will be Lunsford. Gets it to Custard. Custard calls out the play as she crosses the timeline inside the center circle. Drifts to the right side, long range. Now bounce pass to Baker on the near side beyond the three-point arc in front of the Lloyd bench. Pass over to the far side to Custard, almost taken away. Now Custard looking for help. Will finally find it in Lunsford, who came over to pick up that loose ball. Lunsford now to Baker near the timeline. Eighth grader goes between the circles, crosses over her dribble. Now pitches it to Lunsford, baseline 12-footer, no good. Rebound on the floor, picked up by Ham. Up the floor come the Lady Juggernauts, racing to the basket, but missing the shot is Ham. And on the rebound, we're going to have a foul on Harrison County as Maya Holden was fouled.
Phillies foul on number 30, Lauren Hicks.
Lauren Hicks picking up that personal foul.
At the line for Lloyd, 32.
Holden first is 3 for 4 from the line this year. First free throw is good, and the Juggernauts take the early 1-0 lead. 6:11 on the clock here in the first quarter. Second free throw is also good by Holden, who is now 5 for 6 from the line this season. 2-0 your score. Harrison County looking for their first basket. Custard comes across the timeline, moves to the left elbow. In the lane, a runner is no good, but going and picking up the loose ball is Baker. Baker drives to the basket. Her shot too hard off the glass. And on the rebound, Holden is going to be fouled from behind.
Phillies foul on number 30, Hicks.
Hicks picks up her second personal. Quickly off the bench, Katie Linville will enter the ball game. Linville, a 5'8 senior, averaging a point a game.
Into the game for Phillies, number 34,
5:54 left to go in the first quarter. Lloyd up by a deuce, and they have the basketball. Here's a bounce pass to no one in particular. Goes out of bounds for the 5th turnover already by Lloyd Memorial. The live YouTube broadcast of this game is proudly brought to you by Kentucky Farm Bureau, Maysville Community College, and Farm Credit Mid-America. Visit youtube.com/WCYN Sports. With the basketball, Custard has her shot blocked out of bounds by Ham. Good job by Ham, timing-wise. From her own baseline, this side of the basket, Lunsford will trigger the inbounds pass. Lunsford looking, finds Custard in the corner. Keeley inside the arc in front of the Lloyd bench. Will hand the ball back to Baker. Baker, almost traveled herself. Now a pass in between the circles to Custard. Custard drives, finds Lunsford in the corner for a three. No. Rebound picked off of the ground by Ham, and here come the Lady Juggernauts once again. In the front court, going to the basket, but traveling will be Williams for yet another Lloyd turnover. 2-0 still the score. We've played almost 3 minutes. Inbounds pass will come to Hudgens. Hudgens across the timeline, the middle of the floor. Moves to the left side inside the arc. Now spins at the elbow, forces up a shot. Good! Nice job that time by Bailey, pretty much making something out of nothing. And she'll put her team back into a tie at 2-2 with 4:50 left to go here in the first quarter. Here's a three from the top of the key, no good by Ham. And bringing down the rebound will be Lunsford. Lunsford to Linville. Linville gets the ball to Hudgens in the front court. The Phillies trying to take their first lead of the game. Hudgens, a backup three. Yes! Another State Farm Joe Cochran three-pointer, this time by Bailey Hudgens. And Bailey's put Harrison County in the lead, 5-2. 4:16 left to go in the first quarter. In the front court, a three put up no good by Lloyd, but chasing down the loose ball is Barger. Now they'll get the ball in the paint. Barger, a runner, is short. Rebound put back up, no good by 32, and Lunsford will get the ensuing rebound off the missed shot. In the front court, Lunsford being harassed over there defensively by Frazier. Gives the ball to Custer, now to Baker near the far sideline, near the hash mark. Baker wanders in between the circles, now makes her move to the block, to the glass. It's no good, but she's fouled. And Baker will go to the line for two. Foul's going to be called on Williams. That'll be her first. As Baker goes to the line. Baker on the year, 4 for 7 from the charity stripe. Trying to improve her team's current 3-point lead. 3:36 left to go in the first quarter. First free throw by the middle schooler is good. Let's see, coming in for Lloyd Memorial, Maya Bennett, a 5'9" senior who had 9 points in the loss to Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Also, Raylan Brown, a 5'8" senior who had a couple of points in that same game. And also one other player, we'll get that for you here in a minute. Second free throw is also good by Baker. So Jersey puts her team up 7-2 with those two free throws. 3:32 on the clock now here in the first quarter, and now another turnover by Lloyd Memorial. Let's see that. 22. Let's say Raylan Brown. 5. Maya Bennett. We said her. Ham's out there. We'll figure it out here. Here's a three from the corner put up by Lunsford. It's no good. And coming down with the rebound was Bennett, but she turned it over. So give the ball back to the Fillies. Shot put up, no good. Baker goes and gets the long rebound. And we'll reset the offense. Here's a pass in the paint to Linville. Her shot's no good. And this time the rebound comes into the hands of Holden, who has 4 rebounds here in the first quarter. Now a bad pass. Ball thrown out of bounds. Give the ball back to the Fillies. 9 turnovers for Lloyd. Harrison County with just 2. Coming in the game for the Lady Juggernauts, Malia Linson. Linson, a senior who had 5 points against Lawrenceburg, Indiana last Tuesday. With the ball coming up the floor, Custer, Harrison County leading 7-2. They've scored the last 7 in a row. Linville in between the circles, looking for some help, and took a little travel there. So give the ball back to Lloyd Memorial. But you have a big group to feed. The Beast Pizza is great for birthdays and parties. Just dial 235-7627 right now. That's 235-SNAP. With the basketball across the timeline comes Bennett. Maya Bennett over on the far side finds Holden. Holden will fire a three-pointer. No. And down with the rebound is Baker. Up the floor come the Fillies, trying to increase their current 5-point lead. Baker falls down. She enters the paint, but gets the ball off to Lunsford. Lunsford up to the top of the key to Hudgens. Hudgens looks to her right, now dribbles back to her left before backing up near the center circle. Now makes a move inside the paint to the block, to the glass. Her layup is good. Nice drive that time by Bailey. She has 7 points now, as Harrison County has raised its lead to 9-2 with just over 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Here's a baseball pass over everybody from Maya Holden for yet another turnover. Timeout called by Lloyd Memorial. It will be just a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. But with 1:56 left to go in the first quarter, Harrison County leading 9-2. Well, they've been here for Farmers since 1916, and they're here for you now. Farm Credit Mid-America. Contact Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 and learn more about it. As I mentioned, the Fillies will be back in action going on the road on Tuesday up to Florence to take on the Lady Rebels of Boone County. Ed Lewis will be bringing you all the action of that particular ball game on our app. which is 101. Oh, crap, 1013. I think it's the app. Or maybe does the app have a code? Oh, I'm so technologically ignorant. That's why I have a flip phone. All right, out of the timeout. Phillies have the basketball. Baker will bring it into the front court. Crosses over her dribble, goes to the basket. Her runner is no good. Coming down with the rebound will be Brooklyn Jackson, who's in the game. Jackson, a 5'6" sophomore. In the front court, she'll give the ball to Holden. Holden has a drive, but is no good. Rebound, though, is put back up and in by Lloyd Memorial's 22. By Jackson for her first points to make it a 9-4 game. Now a steal by the Juggernauts, and now it's re-stolen by Harrison County's Custard. Also a foul called on Bennett for Lloyd. That'll be her first. Lunsford will inbounds the ball from the hash mark just to the left of the Lloyd Memorial bench. Pass comes inbounds to Linville. Linville takes a couple of dribbles and gives the ball to Hudgens as Lloyd Memorial has ratcheted up their defense a little bit. Harrison County still leading, though, 9-4 with just over a minute left to go in the first quarter. And now we'll have a foul called on Brooklyn Jackson. That'll be her first. Coming in the game for the first time for Harrison County, Savannah Kennedy. Kennedy, a 5'9" sophomore, averaging a half a point a game, but man, she will provide the energy this team may need. Inbounds pass will come to Linville. Linville takes a couple of dribbles before handing it off to Custard up to the top of the key to Lunsford for three. In and out, no good. Rebound on the ground, dug out of there by Lloyd Memorial. Now here's a pass to Raylan Brown, who puts it up and in. Raylan Brown makes it a 9-6 game with under a minute to go here in the first quarter. Back in the game for Lloyd Memorial, Maya Bennett returns from her own baseline. Lunsford to trigger the inbounds pass. Lunsford looking, gets it into the corner to Kennedy, who is going to lose her balance, but it's going to be because of a shove by Maya Holden. So the Phillies getting a little lucky there. With 39 seconds on the clock, Phillies maintain possession. From her own baseline again, Lunsford gets the ball to the left elbow, extended to Custard for a jump shot that is no good. Rebound on the floor, goes out of bounds. Last touched by the later Juggernauts. So Lunsford from that same position again near the basket on the baseline, gets the ball inbounds in the corner to Custard. Make that to, yeah, that's Custard. Custard fires a three-pointer, no good. Long rebound is going to go out of bounds. Give the ball back to the Lady Juggernauts. With 26 seconds left, they could tie this game with a tray, which is a pretty good trick after committing 11 first quarter turnovers. Lob pass comes in bounds to Frazier. Frazier nearly traveled, gets it on the baseline, though, into the hands of Brown. Brown hands the ball off, this time to Jackson. And now the ball goes through the legs of Holden out of bounds. 14 seconds for the Phillies to try to get the last basket of the first quarter. They'll come the length of the floor to do so. Very quiet crowd here today. Feel like I'm at Augusta, not the high school, the golf course. 6 seconds left to go. Top of the key three for Linville is no good. Rebound is hauled in by Jackson. Her long three from three-quarter court is not even close. So at the end of one quarter of play, your score, Harrison County 9 and Lloyd Memorial 6. You're listening to Philly Basketball on WCYN Sports.
Every Monday and Tuesday at 9 a.m., Bluegrass Stockyards Lexington will be having their...
Congratulations. You're officially an agent.
Sweet. I get one of those cool agent names, right? Like Viper or Shadow?
Well, Wayne, we're thinking you go by Wayne?
Oh, yeah. Wayne's fine, too.
With Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance, there's an agent in every county who's involved in the community, which means you'll know your agent by name. In this case, Wayne.
I got it. What about 006?
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. Big on commitment.
At Farm Credit Mid-America, we're here to make rural dreams a reality. Whether it's financing your farm, expanding your agribusiness, or building your country homes, we've been proudly supporting farmers and rural families for over a century. As a customer-owned cooperative, we don't just offer loans and insurance, we invest in your success. Call Michael Furnish at 859-254-2741 or visit fcma.com today. Farm Credit Mid-America, financing rural America's dreams.
Lloyd Memorial with the basketball, trailing 9-6 in that first quarter. Harrison was 3 for 16 from the floor. Lloyd just 2 for 11 with 12 turnovers. Here's a three from the right side by Ham. It's no good, and on the rebound, we're going to have a whistle and a foul called as one of the Lloyd Memorial girls hit the floor pretty hard. Can't tell the number. And I'm not going to speculate until she gets up, which she does. Maya Bennett. So Bennett maybe just getting the wind knocked out of her. Had to take a moment to recover, and now she's going to be fine. Like a good neighbor, Joe Cochran with State Farm Insurance is there. He's your good neighbor. Are you looking for a new quote? Give Joe a call at